Hello, assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And we need to talk a bit more about the Los Angeles fires, okay? Because as predicted, and as I said even last time, that I know people are going to say that the world is talking about how this is divine wrath and karma, but look, a lot of innocent people got killed in the process and all. Okay, number one, which is something many people have pointed out, less than 48 hours earlier, Hollywood made it a point to mock God, right? Literally. They literally mocked God. And less than 48 hours after that, the fire erupts. Again, where? Right in the heart of Hollywood. In the heart. Like where the wealthiest, uh, you know, actors and actresses live. Yes, obviously there are innocent people. A whole Jewish temple got destroyed in the process. That's, if that isn't a sign, I don't know what is. But then people would say, so a mosque also got hit, Muslim homes got hit. Okay, but see, this is what you don't understand. Yes, God knows better that if this was really his wrath or not. But you know what? God made it very clear, both in the Bible and in the Quran, regarding rain, for example. What did God say? A time will come when it will rain only and only for trees and the animals that God has created. Because man will have reached to that point of abnormalcy, to that point of degradation, to that point of regression as a civilization, where everything that is bad will be considered normal and everything that is good will be considered abnormal, and that the only good person in his is will be that person who in his heart will say this is wrong, because he knows that saying it out loud will not wouldn't even matter, because it's not like anybody's going to listen, right? So at that time, God is going to leash upon his wrath through various crises, various natural disasters and crises, in which even the good are going to be enveloped along with the bad. Why? Because when the companions of the prophet were like so concerned and worried that why are the good people supposed, why do they have to get punished along with the rest of them? And the prophet said it's because they are so less in number. They're so less in number that they will just be taken in as casualty. Get it? They will just be part of the casualty. This is how much evil, or how much, you know, wrong it becomes normal, how much doing wrong, how much doing bad becomes so normal. And people are just, I mean, here's a very small example. Here's a very small example of how shameless people have become. That when they hurt somebody and then they go and apologize, then they start abusing that person, and they start hitting that person, and they start hurling verbal abuse at that person for refusing to forgive them. Like, don't you even know the meaning of asking for forgiveness? Don't you know the meaning? You seriously, are you that shameless? Are you that stupid? Are you that moronic? Are you that senseless that you don't even know the freaking meaning of apologizing to somebody? If you don't, then don't apologize. If you're just apologizing for the sake of apologizing so that you should force somebody to forgive you, that's not how it works. But this is exactly how people are behaving towards others. This is exactly how society is behaving, how parents are behaving, how siblings are behaving, how friends and how strangers and enemies and how politicians and every single motherfucking person is behaving like this. That they're going around hurting other people, they're going around harming other people, and then they're forcing them to forgive them. And if that person refuses to forgive them, they start abusing that person. You do realize that the reason why sins against humanity is unforgivable in front of God as compared to sins against oneself or sins against God, right? God says, I will forgive you your sins against yourselves, and I will forgive you even your sins against me. But what I cannot forgive is your sins against humanity. Why is that so freaking hard for you people to understand? So, yes, keeping in mind the fact that both the Bible and the Quran have very, very openly, very clearly stated two major crises: lack of rain. It will no longer rain for the humankind. It will only rain for the animals and for the plants. Okay? At the same time, you will see the opposite: so much rain that it would flood terrains. And here you've got the fire in LA. So, yes, if the majority, and here again, majority is authority. So, if the majority of the world has reached the conclusion that this is the curse of the innocent lives, they have cursed America, that the world has been cursing America, and especially what has been done in Palestine and what is being done in Syria and in Lebanon. The amount of curses that have come up from the rest of the world because of America's blatant disregard for human rights, blatant disregard for human lives. The fact that it was acting as if it was God on earth, the fact that Hollywood itself just mocked God, and you're saying that in less than 48 hours, suddenly the whole of LA burnt down to ashes. And you think that, oh no, we cannot say for sure that this is the wrath of God. Yeah, well, no, sorry, we can. We can 100% say for sure that this is indeed the wrath of God. It may be for whatever reason it is, but God has said it very clearly that you will see his wrath in the form of natural disasters. It doesn't matter if even they try to prove that this was an accidental arson. It doesn't matter. The fact that a very small accidental arson could have been curbed within minutes, and the fact that it came out to be 5 different fires at 5 different locations engulfing the whole city. Just use your common sense. The fact that only rain can kill this fire and it's not raining. Use your common sense. So yes, this is that time, as the prophet predicted, that a time will come when evil will overflow so much that good will be like salt, just like a grain of salt. It will be so less that when God metes out justice, or when he just crushes, he decides to punish them, then the good, the bad, everybody's going to get crushed regardless. So yes, that is why innocents will be casualties. It has been going on for quite some time. Whenever God metes out justice, whenever he does it, it is the innocents that get crushed in the process. Always. And this is, in fact, why many of us begin to have problems with God. That why is he crushing the innocents while punishing, or while he's supposed to be punishing? Well, again, because as the prophet said, because nobody's actually innocent anymore. For many of them, it will be their time to leave, and this will be an excuse. For many of them, it will be a part of their own punishment, because at this point, nobody's really innocent. None of us are innocent. Can you honestly say that you're innocent? Can you honestly say that you didn't go and hurt somebody in the process of living? Can you honestly say that you haven't done something bad and not cared or not repented? Can you honestly say that you are, in fact, a person who has never lied or who has never done a bad deed in life? We each get a portion of crisis, some in the form of tests and some in the form of punishments. Now, this is up to God to know which of us are being tested and which of us are being punished. But yes, this LA crisis is not just a man made crisis. This is natural, okay, like it or not. And if it's natural, then it is divine wrath. Yes, like it or not. And number two, it shows how useless the American government really is. That it was so busy killing innocents in Palestine, in Syria, in Lebanon. It was so busy waging wars all over the world, but it never bothered to care about. And I find that really weird as well, especially that how is it that they never bothered to, you know, properly work on the water supply, the infrastructure, the whole, emergency route outs and everything for such a place. I mean, this is again the place where the richest of the rich, I mean, some of the richest of the rich are living, right? This is not just any place. This is, Los Angeles, where, all your extremely wealthy billionaires, multi-billionaires, trillionaires are living, and you're trying to tell me that the government was so lax towards this particular. I mean, you hear about the American government being lax towards, the southern areas of America, or the areas where there are mixed race population, or where there is Hispanic or black population, where they've deliberately downgraded their living and never bothered to take care of the infrastructure, or the supplies, or the facilities, or the neighborhoods, or and so in fact it is sort of designed by the American government that those areas remain infested with crime and with disasters and all that stuff. But it's so ironic that this wealthiest pocket of Los Angeles, of California, I mean, it's they didn't even bother to actually pay attention even to this part of their state or city. Seriously? How lax are you? And this is why I keep on and on, trying to explain to my American friends when they keep on talking about how America's the richest country and America's the superpower. And I'm trying to always tell them it's an illusion. America is nowhere near being the richest country, okay? And it is definitely not a superpower. It is a self claimed superpower, and it is self claiming to be the richest country. It's not. And this, I think, in itself is proof that they didn't even bother to actually work on a proper infrastructure and proper routing, for emergencies, and especially considering the fact that this area is rather prone to fires. I mean, come on, look at keeping in mind the climate, keeping in mind the greenery, the areas, the bushes, the forests. I mean, it is a place that is prone to some kind of natural disaster every now and then. How is it that they never actually took measures? It is food for thought here. I mean, this is really something that I find really odd. I don't think only I think the rest of the world finds it very, very odd. That one would think that the government would spare no effort and no money to especially ensure that this area is 100% well taken care of, well maintained. But there you have it. So, yeah, as I said, it's not like people feel nothing for the innocents, But you know what? At the same time, people really cannot sympathize with them. They cannot relate to them. I'm sorry, but they can't. Just like how the Americans cannot relate to Palestine, the rest of the world cannot relate to the Americans at this point. I'm sorry. The fact that you have had a natural disaster and you're having 24/7 media coverage, on the fire, and on your incompetence, basically, your government's incompetence. And the fact that you're, creating such a hue and cry. And I mean, why are you whining so much? I mean, the Palestinians were not allowed to whine. According to you, the Palestinians were whining and Israel was defending itself. So, the fire is defending itself. It's just a natural phenomena. Why are you whining? What are you complaining about? So what if you lost so much? You're still alive. The Palestinians have lost everything and their lives. Can you compare? You cannot compare. Yours is a natural disaster. Theirs is an American created disaster. So I'm sorry, but I just don't get it. Nobody in the world gets it. Nobody in the world gets why you're, so privileged. What are you so privileged? You're rich. You're rich in your own hometown. It has nothing to do with any of us. You've suffered losses. I'm sure you can build the city up. After all, your government has been deliberately destroying cities and schools in other countries just so that they can make money by contracting rebuilding. The amount of money your government has scammed out of so many countries by deliberately destroying their infrastructures and then going and asking them to pay double, triple, 10 times the amount to the American construction companies so that they can rebuild those cities, those buildings, those infrastructures. I mean, who the hell are you kidding here right now? Yeah, I mean, sorry, but the Americans, you seem to think that, the world revolves around you. It doesn't. You seem to think that you are the world. You're not. You're at just one corner of the world. You're a very small part of a very large world. And you're whining as if, I'm sorry, but who nobody cares. Just like how you and your Western allies didn't care about Palestinian lives or about Syrian lives or about Iraqian lives or about Afghani lives or about Lebanon, Lebanese lives or even about Pakistan. You never cared about our lives. Do you remember how many innocent people you killed in your drone strikes under the Obama tenure? Those were innocent people too. And you were deliberately just striking innocent civilians. Why, one might ask? You even destroyed some of the oldest and largest Buddha statues in Pakistan. And you try to claim that it was the Taliban. The whole freaking world knew that it was you guys. It was the Americans. The Taliban has been here for so long, and they never even thought of destroying any of the Buddha statues. But suddenly, as soon as the droning and the interference of American army within Pakistan began, suddenly, oh, hey presto, a Buddha got destroyed. Are you serious? Who do you think you're making fools out of? Yeah, you need to get a grip. Okay, you people of America, you need to get a grip. You're not that important to the rest of the world. Okay? Well, this is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.